All right, got second day in shells. I thought there were some parts of it was better than yesterday, some not as much. I'm trying to get, this is more a staff issue, trying to get everybody more engaged with the down and distance and awareness of the situation when we're out there. And sometimes when we're, as coaches, when you're not on the side, when you're on the sidelines, you just kind of let me run everything, and I don't want to run everything. So we'll get that fixed, but I thought we made some steps. But they'll get a little break tomorrow. I'll have a little bit, I think they're going to get some individual pictures taken and all that. They'll get a chance to rest their legs a little bit, and then big week next week.
What do you do as a staff on Sundays? How are you going to go about this, working through what you've seen so far?
Yeah, this Sunday, that's the good part about when the player, the most important, I always said this, and I think most coaches will tell you this, the most important part of our day is when we're with the players. That's any time, all year round. You know, everything else stops. If a player comes, if a player's here, then they are the most important thing for that day. Well, on Sundays, when players don't have to be here as much during camp, that's when we actually get some time to, like, get a little more evaluation in, discuss personnel. Because we meet now, and, you know, it's long days, but we got a lot of time with our players. Well, tomorrow, it's kind of a, we'll have a little time with our players, but it's more of a coach's day to get caught up with not just evaluation, but schemes and what we got to do in the next week and all that stuff.
Is it a reboot, a reset, or is it?
Some is. Some is like, okay, what have we done? Install the first 4 days. What do we got to keep in? What do we got to work on better? And, you know, on offense, we had a 5-day install, but it's really probably needs 7. And then you got to repeat it again. And still, like, what do we do well? What our quarterbacks do well? And that's a little bit of a mix. And I don't limit, like our defense, like tell Zach, hey, all I want is these 2 coverages or these 2 fronts or anything like that. We don't even tell each other on offense, defense what we're doing, which is usually unique. Typically, you'd script it, and even though we script it, I don't follow the script all the time. In fact, most of the time I don't. So offense doesn't know what the defense is doing. Defense is not going to know what the offense is doing. And I've probably been doing that for the last 5 or 6 years, and I kind of like it that way. You gotta adapt quicker.
Rich, when you are evaluating what quarterback is game ready, what are your non-negotiables? What do they have to do well? What do they can't do poorly?
You know, they're going to make mistakes, and you know that's going to be. But is it a physical mistake? And if it's a mental mistake, is it like an egregious mental mistake, like something we overemphasize not to do? And obviously, taking care of the ball, everybody will tell you that, but. What you can have is the repeated mistake. You know what I mean? Like everybody's going to make, oh, it's a bad decision to do this or a bad decision to do that. And, you know, they make so many decisions, they're going to have some bad ones. But are they repeating it over and over again? So there's so much to coach. I told them that, you know, there's so much to coach that we don't have time to keep going over the stuff that we should already fixed.
Acknowledging that your offense is a little more complex and do things differently. A lot of other coaches will say their install process is 3 days or maybe 4 days. You're saying that yours is 5, should be 7. Is that because you break it down more, or is there just so much more to cover?
I think we're slower to put more in. Like a lot of people put it in 3 days, and they've got, you know, 10 different runs in on the first day or something. You know, I mean, we're slow to add, and it has to be relatable. In other words, I kind of like our original 3-day, 4-day install, we haven't met at all because I'm like, oh, we can't move on to that because we don't have this down yet. Or that doesn't look like it's going to be a good fit, so we'll take that out and revisit that later. So that part's kind of, I mean, I've always kind of enjoyed that part of it, and that's kind of the football part of it. So but again, we're still, part of those decisions are made like, based on personnel too, like what our guys do well. So we'll figure it out. I've been running. It's not the exact same system for 28 or more than that, 35 years. But I inevitably go back to stuff that I'm really comfortable with and have done. So I don't know why sometimes, oh, they got great, that looks like a great idea, and then when push comes to shove, it's like, I don't know.
The guys picking it up, I mean, you go fast. It's really fast on both sides. Are they, is it slowing down for them a little bit?
And there's, and related to that, the typical thought was like, go slower till they learn it, and then once they learn it, you can go faster. And I'm just the opposite. The tempo's non-negotiable, so let's go and they got to learn it fast. So let's teach it, learn it fast, force feed it, and whatever you want to call it, and go. So that part of it, and that makes it harder. I understand it. I mean, they're still learning this formation signal first. So when you get into the concept, they're going to be a little bit behind. But in my experience, once they get it fast and they got it down, then you can move on to the next thing.
Or even how you practice or how you want to practice.
Yeah, that's different too. But I mean, a lot of our coaches have been through it, and now our guys have been through it 3 times. So hell, I shouldn't have to repeat myself from something I said yesterday. It just wastes time.
Rich, back to quarterbacks again. So which read is tougher, the run read or the pass read, or are they equal? Do you think for the quarterback?
Well, I think in this day and age, the pass reads are probably a little more difficult. So because you see some more different exotic coverages. In the old days where you just saw 3 or 4 coverages, now you got, they're playing a quarters coverage and a match coverage, and they might be man to one side, zone to another side, and there's so much more variety defensively than there ever was before. Now our defense is next level variety. I mean, we got all kinds of stuff, but so that part is a little bit more unique than 15, 20 years ago. Like if I wouldn't watch 20 years ago film, the simplicity of what you'd see on defense is a lot different. Well, part of our goal offensively is to be able to handle everything you're going to see, and so that takes a while.
Do you have quarterbacks that can do what you want to do? You
Yeah,
say you like this.
It's a smart room. The coaches are smart, the players are smart. And I sit in with them just about every day, and so they kind of get it. Even the young guys, Scotty Fox and Khalil, the younger guys, get a pretty good grasp. And Rhett's doing a good job with them. But when you come to practice and it's going live against our defense and they're seeing all kinds of stuff, they're making some mistakes that we got to get corrected in a hurry.
How big is it to have, Pat as well as Rhett? Those guys, they kind of know your offense a little bit. Is it easier for them to teach it to those
I would hope
guys?
so. Yeah, there's no question. They both played in it. So I think, and not that you'd have to have played in it to be able to teach it, but the fact that both of those guys did, I think certainly, one, it gives me good feedback because, they've run a lot of these plays, of course, but 2, they can really talk to the quarterbacks about how they saw it or how they interpreted things.
Question about skill development. Today everybody's got somebody that's, helping them with something. And I saw a clip, Kelvin Sampson, somebody asked him about, what do I need to do? Do I need to get up more shots or what? And he said, play games. Go find a game and play a game.
Yeah, play more basketball.
Yeah,
And you can shoot 300 3-pointers, but
with nobody guard you. And he said,
somebody.
learn how to play with some. Does that apply to football?
Oh, sure. I think quarterbacks are more prepared coming out of high school than ever before. One, because their coaches are more in tune with different concepts, but it's 7-on-7 stuff. They're playing, they're throwing the year round, and so all that is good. And there's nothing wrong. Like everybody. Quarterbacks have a lot of players have personal trainers that do one-on-one work, and that's all good because it keeps them working on some skills. There's so many different skills to work on, but if you really want to get ready to play football, you got to play football. And so we do individual work, in every practice, whatever, but we'll do more teamwork, a lot more team work than individual work because of that same reason. I mean, it's 11 guys, 11 on team. So I'm more team probably heavy oriented than most coaches.
I guess that was his message: is you got to learn to rely on your teammates. You're
Or
playing
you
not
just
with
you gotta see 11. There's 11 out there.
Yeah.
When there's just one guy out there or two guys out there, it's a little different. When there's 11, it's a whole different dynamic.
I know no pads, I mean, full pads yet, but how do you like your defensive line so far?
I think we're more athletic. A little bit. It looks like we got some pretty good competition from the guys that we added since the spring. Pretty active group. There's just Eddie V's played a little bit. Ham, Nate, some of the other guys have played at other places. So I think our competition. We picked up some DNs. Our competition is so much better than it was 3-4 months ago. Which is, I think competition at every position elevates the guys.
Rich, a couple days of practice, a couple days of pads, running backs better than you expected after a week, right about where?
Yeah, they've been a little banged up. I think we've had 4 practice today. Jaheim, Hubbard, Clay Ash, Cannon, right? I think those are just the only 4. So numbers a little bit less. We may add a guy or two there because we got to have more guys at running back. But they've done a good job. They've Larry's an experienced coach, picked up our system really well. I think we don't have the bigger guy back yet, so we're still looking at that. But it's a pretty good group.
You have, I guess, when you have the full room, that many players, I guess the pressure would be good, but maybe is it even greater now for some of those guys that haven't been out there that when they get back, they better know what they're doing, make the most of their time, and otherwise there's someone else coming in.
Yeah, and I think anybody, I think players everywhere, not just here, they know when there's real competition. I think the one thing that players all want is playing time, right? Everybody wants to have playing time, and I tell the guys, don't worry about if you're first or second out there right now. Just make sure you're good enough to win with, and get to that point where we got to play you because you're good enough to win with. And I'm hoping there's more than 2 at every position. I don't know if we'll be that, but that they know. I mean, when they're right now for the next couple weeks, everybody's getting reps, and it'll be quality reps, and they're going to get a real chance to show, what if they're learning, if they can help us win, and all that stuff.
Rich, anything to report on the guys awaiting waivers?
Nothing yet. I mean, we're still, it's on somebody else's timeline. It can be frustrating, but at the same time, that I see there was somebody the other day that just got eligible, and so we got 4 guys we're waiting on, and we'll see where that goes.
Point where you may have to go to courts to get a decision rather
Sure,
than
yeah.
USA?
It eventually seems like it goes to that. It seems like it's all the guys that decisions have been made in the last few weeks. It's been whatever court they went to or something with that. So that's what a lot of that's obviously out of the players' hands and our hands and all that kind of stuff. So it's but we got to have a plan. Plan if they're good. I hope it's all good and they can play. And if they can't play, does that mean we got to somehow find another guy or get somebody else ready? That's we got to can't put our head in the sand. We got to be ready for either outcome.
Frustrating for you?
Oh, sure, because we
unknown.
want to practice. We want to practice that from that standpoint. But also, this process takes a little longer than everybody wants.
Do you have enough position battles across the board at all the spots to your liking?
From what I see in the last 4 days, way more than the spring. I mean, to me, it looks like there's some pretty good position battles going on just about everywhere. So that part I think, again, now we haven't gone live, and that's going to be the real test. We haven't gone live. We've been in shells and shorts, but we got some pretty good competition going on.
So the guys are pretty close, and there's not a huge.
Yeah, and again, it's probably hard to decipher because when you're thudding and tagging, it's not the same as tackling. But I do think that we're having legitimate competition at a lot of spots.
Rich, you talked in the spring about your team needing to get faster. Did you get faster? Do you feel like you addressed that issue?
I think we did with some personnel moves, and I think our strength staff did a good job. And we wear the GPS, and we can see how fast they go to each practice. I don't look out there and say, God, we're really slow at that position. So, I always like to be faster at all of our skill positions on offense. Like fast guys playing fast. So I like to get faster there. But I think our team speed has been pretty good.